So in one of our videos past, we cut apart this whole exhaust system from the Honda Odyssey and took a few select pieces, muffler, tip, this set of turns, and the main flange, which doesn't match up exactly to the flange that comes out from the exhaust. So this is actually going to have to be replaced. But what we're going to do is a mock-up, weld it together, tack it in 2 or 3 good spots around the pieces that we know for sure we're going to keep, and be ready to cut off whatever mounts later we don't need and clean those up, and have it all attached and just tacked in like maybe 2 spots to this flange so we get the idea of where it's going, and then later we can cut this loose and put the correct one in there. But I want to get this thing at least tacked together and have a better idea of how it's laying in a little more permanently than having these pieces just sort of wander around. So that's what we're going to do next. And there you have it, tacked together, ready for the rest of the mock-up. Going to definitely be cutting off and grinding away this lower mount, but this upper one here I might end up keeping, although I might end up heating this bar and turning it the opposite direction, and then if we could hook that up, going back and tying into something so it still has that flexi bounce here and its permanent one already down here. That seems like that would be a pretty slick way to reuse all those parts and end up with all the muffler and exhaust system we need for this thing. I think that's going to work great. Alright, thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Back here on the 64 VW, a little bit more on the exhaust system that we're rebuilding here. So we had used this flange off the exhaust system in an earlier video and attached it up to the exhaust parts that we have taken from the old Honda van, and we had mocked this up using that flange to attach the exhaust, but realized that that flange actually matches up to this side of the catalytic converter and not the side that actually attaches back into the exhaust on the rear end of the motor. So we pulled the catalytic converter today out, yanked off its heat shields, and then used our little grinder and sliced the flange off right here, and then knocked the pressed in studs out of the holes. Now we've thrown in a couple of bolts that we're going to use to tie it together, and that's where we're going to go next, is to make sure this all slides together right here. We're going to have to figure out a little bit of shifting between. As you can see, the pipe on this side is a little bigger than the pipe going out through the exhaust, but I don't think that should be too horrifyingly an ordeal to figure out. And just yank another little bit of sleeve pipe out and slide it over that. Figure out something to block that section up good, and then get that pipe welded together so we can put this back on to the exhaust and be able to just bolt this system together with a little exhaust biscuit between the two. So that's that. We got one more little piece of our exhaust system ready to be welded together once we're at that point. All these parts got to be taken off the donor, refit and remade, and put back together over here. So there we have it. One more little bit waiting for its time, and another couple of pieces we can toss into the garbage and recycle bins Got to figure out what you do with a catalytic converter once you've cut it apart. And you're not a thief, you're not stealing it. You take it off your own car. Shouldn't you be able to do something with it? Recycle it or something? Well, we'll have to figure that out in the days ahead. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for reminders when new stuff comes up. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Show your friends. Hopefully we get some more viewers who enjoy watching me tear things apart, put them back together. Alright, have a good one. Alright, so we're working on the back end of the frame for the Dune buggy by once again jacking apart from the old van and reusing it. So this is, so here we can get in there, a draw tight receiver hitch that was attached to the back of the van. And we've done some markings for the middle and where we're going to drill through for mounting to our frame, and then the sections that we're going to cut out of this to shrink it in from both sides. And the plan is to go to our local metal shop and grab a piece of square tubing, good heavy thick stuff that'll slide right down through this hole, and slide a new piece all the way down the middle to sleeve this whole thing from end to end, and then cut out this section, bring them together, and weld the seam all the way around, attaching it to the inside pipe, as well as welding that sleeve center pipe at both ends. And basically recreating this draw tight receiver hitch, but only 25 inches wide from dot to dot, so that those can match up with mounting post and mounting post, and that rear receiver hitch will sit right there, and those two little swoopty plates will go whoop whoop, and that one will then be more in line with the front mount post by being kicked out to the side and then running straight up through the middle right there. Boom. And the same thing, kick it out to the side and it'll run right up through there. That's our hope anyhow. So here we go. We're gonna start hacking this thing off and cutting it up and getting some of these pieces ready to go. So join us on our fabulous adventure. Okay, so all the cutting done, and yep, I screwed up. Measure once, cut once. Well, measure twice, cut twice. Such is life. I went a little conservative and didn't cut enough off, so I had to shorten the two sides to make it the right width. So here's the idea. I'm gonna go ahead and put these together. I'm actually gonna switch off here and see if while I'm filming, oh, I hate doing this, but there we go. Now you're on the tree pod. You can see how we're going to do this, and I can keep chitty chattering while we go. So this is not the thickness of pipe that I want to use, but it's a good mock-up. So we slide a sleeve pipe. I obviously want one that's going to be longer than this, and have a much heavier diameter than this. But we can easily do the mock-up of this is not at all the way it should be. I'm going backwards here. Yep, got it backwards. Alright. That one other way. And this one this way. There we go. Now we're right. Okay, so that is the new Reciever hitch, which we're putting together to be the rear end of our little Dune bugger. So I'm gonna put put you back down for 2 seconds here in the tree pod again. And then I'll move it on over to this spot and adjust you there so you can see what we're doing. And then I'll bring this over and have a show and tell. Just like that. And the bolt goes through each side there, through that flat plate. And off the top of this, we shoot a beam that goes right out to the front mount. Since the steering is going to be gone, this heim joint can come right up and bolt into this beam. And this heim joint on this end can come in and bolt into this beam, and that'll give us our adjustment for keeping these two rear wheels going straight. And we end up with a spiffy receiver back end. Let's see here. I need to get a clamp so I can crank that on. Let's get a there. That one. See if we can't do a little clampy clamp in here. Show you what we're going for. Generally speaking. I might not be able to do anything about that. I'm going to do it that way, I guess. Oh, right about there. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to get this to sit where I want it to. Not with these clamps, that's for sure. Nope. I ain't gonna do nothing to make that sit the way I want. Well, that kind of sucks. Huh. Well, it ain't gonna sit quite right the way I want, but generally speaking, you have that and you can kind of see how this shoots forward right up to that front. Not sure if you can see it, but right up there to the front. Boom, right up into that one. This one here, it's just under the edge of the chair there, but boom, right in front of the tranny. Should go right there. We'll have a little receiver hitch, obviously. It'll be up like that. But let's do it. That's what we want. Alright. Well, we got it all mocked until we get the regular piece of sleeving tube we want. That's as far as this one's going. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a great day. See you next time.